Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another comic book haul. This time it's my New York Comic Con 2018 haul. This year I went 2 days. I went on Thursday and I went on Saturday. I was originally planning to go on Saturday with my wife. Unfortunately, my wife is fortunately she's a nurse, but unfortunately the person that agreed to take her shift that day, 3 days earlier, decided, nah, I don't want to do it. So it screwed her up. And she couldn't attend, unfortunately. So that was a bit of a bummer. That put a little bit of a cloud on that day for me. But moving forward, I did manage to get a few things. This year at the Comic-Con, I didn't have any big sights. I didn't have my eyes set on anything really, really big because of what's going to show up in the December haul and beyond. So I went to the hall to get a couple of books that I've wanted to get for a little while, and now I had some time to do so, or rather put some time to actually get these books. So we'll start off with the one exclusive I came home with. I'm not really that big on exclusives. I mean, in past videos I've shown some, I've gotten some obviously, but I just saw one that I really liked. Now there are a ton of exclusives at the con, exclusives that I'm not even aware of, but this is the one that I saw that I liked and I purchased it. Sorry for the glare. It's one of the foil covers. It's Batman number 56, New York Con exclusive. I know this video is not doing this cover justice, but this is it. Now, this year has been really big for me when it comes to collecting ECs. Now, I know ECs are not necessarily the most popular books to hunt for and get. Everyone likes superhero books, and that's perfectly understandable. But for me, ECs mean a lot, so I always try to make sure I get at least one EC at the New York Comic Con. And here is one of them. Shock Suspense Stories number 18. This is the last issue of the series. Really cool story inside. I mean, they're all good. But the one that sticks out the most for me is a story that appeared on the HBO TV series called The Trap, where basically a couple with another person. It's a little different though. In the issue to the TV show, it's a little different. They change things around, but anyway, the premise stays the same. A couple, along with this other person, decide to cash in on a life insurance policy without the person that has the policy dying. So it's a really, really cool story. I think the episode on HBO was a lot better than the actual one that showed up in print. It's good. But the TV episode had, I think, a lot more personality.
Hello, Billy, it's me. Yeah, you weren't doing nothing tonight, right? Good, because you're coming over.
I'm real busy.
Busy? What could you be doing that's so important? You haven't had a date in 10 years. What are you doing? Dancing with the stiffs down there or what?
I'm doing my job, Lou.
You're coming over, huh?
Come on, Lou, why?
Because I'm your big brother and I said so, that's why. Get your ass over here.
Really, Lou, I've got a ton of work to do tonight.
Yeah, Billy, I know how busy you are, but let's remember one thing. I'm your brother. Family comes first.
Hello, William.
Hello, Emma. What do you want, Lou?
What do I want? I want to be dead.
Dead?
Dead? What I mean is, I want everyone to think I'm dead. My insurance company in particular. I got a $250,000 life insurance policy here. With the double indemnity clause, that makes me worth $500,000. Dead.
Moving along. This is a book that it was always one of the books I wanted. I always put to the side. I said, yeah, one day I'll get it, one day I'll get it. And I needed to complete my run of 60s X-Men. But I was finally able to get this, and I'm glad I put it off because I got myself a really nice copy. Really sweet copy, very nice copy. X-Men number 10, the first Silver Age appearance of Kazar, or Kazar. whatever way you pronounce it. Really cool. I saw this when I went to the con. I said, you know, if I see number 10 around for a price that I'm willing to pay, because we all know the con jacks up prices, right? The dealers have to pay for their tables and they want to make profit and all that stuff. I get that. But if I saw one that I thought was a decent price, if there was one for a decent price, I'd get it. And this was it. And I did not pay much for it. I paid under $100 for this, and this is easy, an easy 7.0, maybe even a 7.5. I think 7.5s usually go for over $100. I could be wrong, but I was very happy to pay what I paid for this. Because as like I said, I was going to the con. If I saw this, I would get it. But I saw a few people have it, and they were selling their 3.0s, their 4.0s for well over $100. And I was like, ugh, no thank you. But that's why when I saw this one, I inspected it, and it's from a dealer that I trust. I trust his grading. Mr. Happy himself. Those of you, Nick and everyone, you know exactly what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. But I trust his grading, and I looked it over, and I said, yep, thank you very much. Now, this is a book that everyone's after. I had sold my copy earlier in the year, and I said, you know, it's a fairly easy book to get. I'll get it again. And I did. And once again, I paid under $100 for this, and it's probably a 9.6. 361, Amazing Spider-Man 361, first appearance of Carnage. I know now that Carnage, there's rumors about Carnage and all that stuff, but this was a book that I originally had when I was younger, and once again I said I sold it earlier in the year with the idea that one day I'd get it back. So this was one of those other books that I had in my head, you know, when I get to it, I will get to it, and I got to it. So very happy to have this. I had a 9.6 previously. That one's definitely a 9.6. Last few. Now this is a book that I said to myself, once again, I'd like to get to. But it's not something that I need a high grade for, even though high grades, not sevens, but like 8s, 9s, they're not that expensive. A little over 9 and so forth. Not that expensive. They'll cost you money, obviously a decent amount of money, but they're not super expensive. But I said, as long as I get a nice presenting mid-grade book of this, I'm very happy. And I did. Conan #1. I was too busy looking at the number, and I looked at the book to make sure it was okay, nothing weird, no weird cuts or pieces missing or rusty staples. I didn't even notice it had white pages, so that was a bonus for me, which is cool. But yeah, Conan #1. I like Conan the Barbarian, and this was a book that I said to myself, I don't really want to spend big money on because I like it, but I don't like it that much where I'm going to dish out $400 or $500 on a 9.4 or 9.6 or whatever it is. But a little bit of money, nice, decent, presenting, mid-grade. This is exactly mid-grade. Good to my book. So yeah, I've been finding that I purchased this on most of these purchases were on Thursday. I only bought one book on Friday, and I have yet to get to that book. I'll let you know when I do. It's going to be the last book in this haul. But I find that I'm looking at this book a lot more, you know. It was nice to get, you know. Like I said, I've always toyed around with getting the first appearance of Conan, but I was like, not now. But then I finally decided to make the move. 2 more. This is another book that I wanted to get for a little while. Submariner #1, 7.0. Once again, I don't need an 8.0, a 9.0, a 9.6. I think a 7.0, this 7.0 is very presentable for me. Nice to have in my collection. Nothing funky or weird about it. As a matter of fact, as I look at it, and I've looked at it a couple times, now I don't have the grader's notes on this, but I don't understand why it's only a 7.0. This looks to be at least an 8. I don't think a pressing could do anything for it because it might have been pressed already, but it looks really good. Excuse me. But yeah, Submariner #1. There were a few people that were selling this book, and I decided, you know, the people that I bought this from, they gave me the best deal for that grade. I saw a couple nice copies. A lot of people had it, of course. It's not a rare book, I don't think. Or maybe it is, I don't know. I'm not as learned on Submariner #1 as some other books concentrate on. But several people had it, and some of the prices I thought were a little crazy, especially for ones that were lower than that. But when I saw this one, I was like, yeah, I'll get it. Now the last book I got is the the one I'm happy about all of them, but the one that I'm really happy about, and like I said, this is the one I got on Saturday. Tales from the Crypt number 32. Like I said, I know ECs are not everybody's thing. I know it's not the first appearance of somebody. I know it's not the origin of somebody, but it's important to me. Classic Jack Davis cover. Beautiful girl about to get her head stomped. I believe I was hanging out with Mike, and stay tuned after I'm done showing the books. I'm going to show you some footage from the actual con, some live footage and some still shots and so forth. But Mike was telling me, Mike from Patrick Luther Manning's videos, that this is one of the censored books originally. Now this is he's really the expert on this stuff. See a girl about to have her head stomped, but the elephant's trunk. What was said was in the original, the trunk was going toward her crotch, and the powers that be felt that that was too suggestive, so they edited it. There were a few horror books. I know Walter Horror was at 32, I think it was, and a couple Tales from the Crypt. The one I think it's 38 where the guy's on the cover with the axe attacking somebody, and I think the original cover had blood shooting up. I think the censored cover, the one that was released, doesn't have that. But there were a few books from the horror line that were censored, and this was one of them. So I was happy to add that, but that's not why I wanted this one. The reason why I wanted this one is because they're like the Shock Suspense Stories 18, the one I talked about earlier in the video. This one had a story that appeared on the second season of the HBO show called Cutting Cards. Now, if anybody saw some of my videos I put out a couple months ago, within a few months, when I first started collecting comics, I went looking for Tales from the Crypt books, not realizing that they were all in reprint. But anyway, I went looking for Tales from the Crypt books, and I asked the local comic book guy, "Do you have the issue where the guys were cutting each other's fingers off?" And he was like, "Oh no, we don't have that one." Well, that one was Cutting Cards, and it first appeared in this issue, and they made a TV episode, on it with Lance Henriksen. So I always loved that episode, and actually it was that episode that got me out to start collecting comics. So it was very important. So yeah, I thought that episode was really unique and so forth. Thank you all for watching. Oh, one last thing. My friend, I went on Thursday. I went with a friend, Brian, apparently somebody gave him this. And he said, "Hey, do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I have yet to check this out. All new Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I guess someone slipped it to him. He said he doesn't know how he got it, so he just gave it to me knowing that I'm really into EC. He likes EC too. Well, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Before I close up this video, I ran into quite a few people at the con. Some YouTubers, some viewers, and I just want to say to everybody, I'm going to, like I said, there's going to be a short video to follow after this, and some still shots that I took from the con to add to the experience of this video. But like I said, the people that I've met, the people that I ran into again, guys like Manny, Erod, some new YouTubers out there like Tony Toth, and some viewers out there like Caesar, I didn't catch your last name, Brandon, and so many others. Actually, I've had a lot of people come up to me. I had dealers talk to me, say, "Hey, you're Reaper, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah, And of course they know Little Reaper, when I do the Instagram and him, Little Reaper, holding some pretty pricey books. they've addressed concern that his grip might actually damage it, but rightfully so. But it was very nice meeting everybody. It was really nice seeing people again. I really, really enjoyed it. It was nice hanging out with Mike again. And so what's next? Got some more videos coming out for the rest of the year and well into next year and so forth. But as for my next haul, like I said, this wasn't a very big haul. This con, because usually we expect these New York Comic Cons and big cons, these heavy hitters. These weren't really heavy hitters. However, I do have a heavy hitter coming in December, and there'll probably most likely be another one sometime before June next year. But you never can tell. How heavy? Oh, well, I got the cheap one. It doesn't glow, but this heavy. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, everyone. Tony and
Tony.
all at the con looking for books on the hunt.
Super World Comics.
Yes. check out his channel. What's your channel?
Just Tony Toth. That's my name, Tony Toth.
Tony Toth.
There you go.
Check him out. Take care.
Although you took very thorough precautions in the park against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
Mike's looking through some of my favorite titles.
Lead poisoning. Yeah, just some old.
Oh, that's a great one.
Old, yeah, the vampire one.
Which one? Foggy with a chance of clottiness or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a great
one of my favorite covers. I may have to buy this one.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Beautiful cover.
What's coming out of his skull right there?
Ooh.
I don't want to know what that is.
Yeah, that's one of my. That's
Another
That's the first one I've read.
Yeah, another Jack Davis classic.
Undertaking Power.
Yep, that's the title. A lot of good stuff here. This one I haven't. What stories?
I'm not that familiar with. When it comes to issue 40 to 46,
this
I get a little unfamiliar.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one either.
I think Morning Mess is in this one. That's a great episode from the TV series. And that's Telescope. I know my ECs.